Hi, it's Matt from Go Green Autos. I hope you can hear me okay today. It's a bit breezy and the microphone's going to be picking up the wind a bit, but nothing I can do about that. So here we have a Renault Kangoo Maxi. This is 100% electric. This is a bit special. These are also very rare. This is probably the rarest EV on the used market. So this one is a crew van, so it's a 5-seater. So what you get with a Maxi is a longer wheelbase, and this one being a 5-seater, you have an extra row of seats there, which also fold flat. There, you got a double and then a single that folds, and you've still got a huge cargo area in the back there. And when those seats are folded flat, you get the same size as the Maxi van. It's just huge. So this is a very practical EV. You could either use it as a very nice van or a car. So it's great for sticking bikes in, or if you've got dogs. You've got windows all around, so it doesn't really feel like a van. This is also, it is a commercial vehicle with VAT, so if you're a VAT registered business, then you can claim the VAT back on this because it is classed as a van. And the other reason why I say this one's a bit of a special one is it is only done 700 miles since new. So the purpose of these videos primarily is to describe the condition, and I'm very honest when I describe the condition of the vehicles. I point out every little stone chip, scratch or mark that I can find, and that gives people the confidence to buy the vehicles without coming to view it first, and most do go without a viewing first, and then I deliver the vehicle to you, and I can deliver vehicles anywhere in the country. So obviously if there's long distances involved and it's a bit awkward to come down and view, hopefully these videos are detailed enough that you can just buy it, and then obviously I deliver it to you. So not much to show you on this because it is still looking like a new vehicle. I'll do a walk around anyway. There are just two small minor things I'm going to point out. So let's just start at the front. It's immaculate. It doesn't have the blue film on the badge. That must have been changed because they have a habit of peeling, but that's a nice new chrome badge. Renault were doing that under warranty, so that obviously got done at some point. The first thing I need to point out is the not bumper, this is a wing. The wings on these are plastic, very flexible, but it has obviously been hit here at some point and it's pushed in by about 3 millimeters. So and there's a couple of very small scratches in it there, but that, oh, and I suppose that is just lifted out a little bit. I might be able to get that back in there, but that is it. I hadn't noticed that little bit there. So yeah, it's just been hit here. So oh, there's a couple of little marks there in the black plastic, but incredibly minor. Tyres are all like new. I'll put the tyre tread depths on the website. There isn't a single mark, stone chip or scratch on the bodywork. The back plastic bumpers is all scratch free. It's in really nice condition. There's only one other little minor thing I'm going to point out, is there is a little tear here in the hardboard. These are pretty weak. They always do get punctured on the vans, but obviously this hasn't been used yet. There's just that little mark there. If I'm being really critical, the other thing I'll just point out is this black plastic is starting to fade a bit here on the number plate light. I've got another one of these as well, and it's doing exactly the same. It's just where it's been sat in the sun. And that's it. That's all I can point out. The rest of it is just fantastic condition. So let's just look in the back. As you can see, it's never been used. You know, if you're going to use this as a van, maybe you'd want to put some ply down on the floor, or at least cut a bit of carpet or something. Here we have a toolkit, which I'm surprised you get because you don't get a spare wheel on the crew versions. Normally the vans have a spare wheel hanging underneath, but you don't get that on the crew. Instead you get a puncture repair kit with gunk and a pump, so that's there. but you also get a toolkit. This is a safety kit from Lex Auto Lease, who are the lease company who originally supplied this vehicle. I haven't actually looked in here, but fluorescent vest, triangle, you probably get a camera and all sorts of things in there in case you have an accident. And then here we have the Renault charge cable, type 2 to type 2. But yeah, all the plastics in here, all scratch free. The seats look like they've never been sat in. It's just really, really nice condition. And then continuing on round, there's absolutely nothing to show you down here. I've shown you all the points I need to show you, but as we can see, the seats are all like new. I've also put new carpet mats in because this didn't have any, and I always put carpet mats in the vans because they work so much better than just rubber mats or just using the rubber floors, because they collect the dust a little bit better. But yeah, door cards are all scratch free. Seats, obviously it's only done 700 miles, so it's, you know, it's all like new still. So I'll just show you the folding seats. Let me just lean over and get that one. Oh, while I'm here, just also point out the windows on the side sliding doors do open as well. And then that seat folds down. You get this plastic cover there hiding the mechanism, and it's all nice and flush. It's not completely flat, it does rise up a little bit, but there's a lot of seat there. The seat does actually sink down here into the footwell, so it's a really nice job. And yeah, really practical vehicle. And then just for completeness, I'll show you round on the passenger side. There's no marks on the dash. Actually, we've even still got the plastic film on the front of the stereo screen as well. New carpet mats, and yeah, really, really amazing condition for a second-hand Kangoo. And then let's just jump in and start it up. So to start these up, you put your foot on the brake, turn the ignition on, you just give it a second or two, and then turn it round to the starter motor and it will start. So let me just turn the radio off. So there we can see the mileage, 713 miles. So incredibly low mileage vehicle. This one does have 2 keys. There's the spare key, but it's got 2 remote keys. And yeah, there's not really much I need to show you in this. We've got a stereo with Bluetooth, so you can pair your phone. We can play MP3 on the USB port. It doesn't have a CD slot. Heating system is a resistive heater, so it does draw quite a bit of power from the traction battery in the winter. But what you can do is you can use preheating, so you can set it up on the dash what time you're going to leave in the morning, and then while it's connected to your charger, the vehicle will switch on and put the heating on and get the vehicle ready for that time. So in the winter it will warm the cab up, melt all the ice off the windscreen, and be ready for when you set the time on the dash. And then when you leave, you've still got 100% range, 100% battery, and maybe you don't need to do your drive with the heating on at all because it's already preconditioned. And then it does the same in the summer. This doesn't have air conditioning fitted. Most of these Kangoos don't have air conditioning because they were an extra, so it can't cool the vehicle down as such, but it tries to by putting the fans on and blows the air around. What else do I need to show you? We've got cup holders down here, front and back. We've got an eco button here. What that does is it reduces the power to the motor and it allows you to extend your range a little bit, because electric motors have 100% torque, so they can be quite torquey. So in the wet it's quite easy to spin the wheels on these Kangoos. So for normal sort of town driving, I leave them in eco mode because you don't notice any difference, and it just stops you sticking your foot down a bit too much and using too much electricity. Let's just quickly show you the paperwork. So this has come, as I said before, it's come from Lex Auto Lease. It's had no previous keeper, so 1 keeper from new, and the registration date is the 18th of the 12th 2014. And then here we've got a service history print from the lease company, and here we've got the MOT certificate. Is MOT'd until Christmas effectively, 2019. However, these are actually MOT exempt. All electric commercial vehicles that are registered, well, let's say commercial vans, should I say, that are registered before March 2015 are MOT exempt. So there's no requirement to have an MOT test on this, but obviously people don't realise and they still get done. So we can see here the MOT history. It was first done at 446 miles, then it was last done at 650 miles, and as I said, it's done 713 miles now. So yeah, it's an amazing vehicle. And then here we've got all the books, we've got all the other books in here, the radio book and the quick guide, the handbook with the radio key in the back, and then 2 service stamps. So I have just serviced this. Servicing on these is absolutely minimal, there's no serviceable parts as such, but it's every 24,000 miles, and it's basically just an inspection and a cabin filter change. With this one I've changed the cabin filter, not that that was needed because it's done no miles, but I've done it anyway. It's got new wiper blades on the front, a 12-volt battery up front has been tested, that's all good, and obviously I've tested the traction battery, and you know, it's all at 100% as you would expect it to be at this mileage. I'll just talk about the charging on the Kangoos. So you have a Type 2 connector. I would also just add this flap works nicely because these have a habit of breaking. As you can see, there's lots of white grease on there because I've lubricated that. You just need to keep them lubricated. So it's Type 2 AC charging. This has AC charging only, and it's a 3.6 kilowatt charger, so that's 16 amp. So on the Kangoos you do not get any DC rapid charging, so they're no good really for the long distance driving, because a charge is going to take you 5.5 hours regardless of what charging rate. Well, obviously if you charge less than 3.6 it's going to take longer. That's an example if you're using a portable granny cable that plugs into a 3-pin plug. They can only draw 10 amps, so they do take longer. But any home wall charging unit or public charging post, regardless of what it is going to be at the same charging rate, 3.6 kilowatt. So these vans are ideal for your sort of city driving. This one has got 100% battery state of health. I've scanned the battery and it's still at 100%, and this would do about 90 miles in the summer. Obviously it depends on driving style. I will be doing a range test on this either later this evening or tomorrow. I'll put all the details on the website with extra photos in the photo gallery so you can have a look at the dash and have a look how many miles I've done. But I've had these in before, and when they're, you know, effectively new like this, if you drive them gently you can get to about 90, 92, 93 miles in the summer. Actually, if you're driving in city stop-start driving, you can probably get them up higher than that. I don't really have much of that driving around here. I'm driving on rural roads where I'm maintaining a constant speed most of the time. But as I said, I'll be doing a range test in that and be putting the figures on the website. But yeah, generally you're looking at up to about 90 miles. In the winter the range does drop on EVs, obviously, because you've got the heating used and you've got colder battery packs which are less efficient. So you'll be looking at somewhere between 70 and 80 miles on this in the current state this is in the winter. So these vans are MOT exempt. As I said, this is also exempt from road tax. Well, it's not exempt, it's 0 rated road tax, because all electric vehicles you don't pay road tax currently. If you're in London, then this is exempt from the congestion zone and the ultra low emission zone, because obviously this is a 0 emission vehicle. And running costs are roughly 2 to 3p a mile for an electric vehicle versus 13 to 14p per mile for running a diesel. But if you can charge overnight on a cheap rate tariff, you can half that cost, or maybe you've got solar, or maybe you've got some local free charging that you can use, or maybe workplace charging, and then the costs come down even more, obviously. This one has a leased battery pack, so the battery that sits under the floor is a 22 kilowatt hour battery pack, and you hire that from £25 plus VAT a month, so £30 a month, and for that battery is guaranteed for lifetime to 60% of its original capacity, and you also get breakdown cover included with that package as well. With all my vehicles I can supply a portable charger, often called a granny cable, so that is a 10 amp charging cable that you can charge the car on a normal 3-pin main socket. So they do take longer, they're going to take 8 to 9 hours, something like that, to charge this from flat to full. But it's very handy because it means you can charge on any normal 3-pin main socket, of course. Very handy if you're out at work on a job during the day, or at your workplace you can charge on a normal main socket and get that top up, so maybe you can double the range. And what I do is a free loan of that. So you buy the cable in the first place, I supply it with the vehicle, and when you get your home charger installed, which usually takes 2 to 3 weeks, if you no longer need that portable charger, you can return it to me and I'll give you a 100% refund, hence why it's a free loan. But most people end up keeping it because they're very handy cables to have, because you can charge your vehicle anywhere, as I said. So the home charger or workplace charger, those are subsidised by the government. You get the £500 OLEV grant, the installer claims that on your behalf, so the end cost to you is from £300. I can arrange that for you, and as I said, it takes 2 to 3 weeks. So I would just add, this vehicle is also waxed. I've waxed all of it, including the roof, which no one normally washes the roofs on vans, but yeah, it's all done. It's nice and slippery and smooth, and obviously it's ready to go now. So if you're interested, give me a call or email. Also let me know your postcode and I'll work out a delivery cost, and as I said, I can deliver this anywhere in the country, and it will come to you on a flatbed and it will be fully charged and ready to use.